That right there sets up this really complicated relationship between blue.
Welcome to Bookhaven.
All right, so we're diving deep today, folks. Ready for this?
Always, what we got?
Color.
Color. Okay, lots to unpack there.
We're going way deeper than, primary colors and all that.
Yeah.
This is about how one single color can tell a whole story. A story about identity, about culture.
That's intriguing. What color are we talking?
Blue.
Blue. Ah, interesting.
Yeah. The book we're looking at is Black and Blues, How a Color Tells the Story of My People by Imani Perry. Coming out January 28th, 2025. And let me tell you, just the title alone had me hooked.
I can see why. Blue, when you think about it, it's everywhere, right? Sky, the ocean.
Exactly, but Perry's taking it way beyond that, like the surface level. She's using blue to dig into Black identity and culture, and it's pretty amazing what she uncovers.
Yeah, I'm looking at the excerpt here. It says blue can be so many things at once. There's beauty, art, but then there's this whole other side to it. A darker side, maybe?
Yeah, I was thinking about that too. Like, how does a color like blue, so often associated with peace and tranquility, end up connected to a difficult, complex past?
Well, she goes back to the 16th century, to the indigo trade. So indigo, it's this plant used to create blue dye, right? And it was super valuable back then, like incredibly valuable.
You got you all that.
It was used to trade for enslaved people.
Wow.
Yeah. That right there sets up this really complicated relationship between blue and the Black experience. I mean, it's woven into history in a way most people don't even realize.
You're right. It makes you think differently about blue. Like, there's this whole historical weight behind it. And it makes me think about how blue shows up in culture, too. Blues music, for example.
Oh, absolutely. You can't talk about blue and Black culture without talking about blues music. The genre itself kind of embodies that same duality we see with the color.
That push and pull.
Exactly. Blues music is born out of struggle, hardship, pain, but it's also full of soul, resilience, even joy.
It's interesting because when I hear the blues, those legendary artists immediately come to mind. Louis Armstrong, Nina Simone.
Right. Their music has this raw emotionality, this feeling that it does feel connected to blue somehow.
Yeah, like it's expressing something deep, something universal maybe.
And get this, Perry argues that this blue feeling goes beyond just music. She looks at Black literature, visual art, even everyday conversations.
So it's more like a shared language almost.
Exactly, a way of understanding, expressing, a cultural thread woven through all these different forms.
And what I find really powerful about Black and Blues is it's not just some, academic analysis of the color. Perry brings in her own personal experiences with blue.
Right. She doesn't shy away from the personal. It makes it so much more powerful, Like, she talks about how blue has been there in moments of both mourning and celebration in her own life.
Like how?
There's this one image, it really stuck with me. She talks about planting blue flowers to remember loved ones who've passed away.
That's wow. It's beautiful and sad at the same time.
It really is, and it just shows how color can be so deeply personal. It ties into our memories, our emotions.
Definitely. And from those personal stories, she goes even deeper, right? Into the symbolism of blue.
Yep. She tackles some tough stuff. Like how terms like blue-black reflect the way society views race, and particularly colorism within Black communities.
Colorism. I'm not familiar with that.
Yeah.
What exactly does she say about blue-black?
Well, she explains how the term was often used to differentiate between people with darker skin tones within the Black community itself.
Oh, I see. So it's like even within a group that already faces prejudice, there are these further divisions based on how someone looks.
Exactly. And it gets at this complicated history of colorism and how it impacts people's lives, their sense of identity.
That's fascinating and heartbreaking too. So blue, in a way, it becomes a symbol of both oppression and agency, wouldn't you say?
That's a great way to put it. On one hand, the deeper the blue, the more it can be used to other someone, to highlight their difference in a negative way. But then on the other hand,
it's also a color that's been reclaimed, celebrated within Black communities, right? A symbol of strength, resilience, heritage.
Absolutely. And Perry explores all of that nuance beautifully. It's really eye-opening.
It sounds like this book, Black and Blues, is going to make people see the color blue in a whole new light.
Oh, for sure. It definitely challenges you to think about the history, the symbolism, the personal stories. all tied up in something we see every day.
Exactly. This everyday color, suddenly it's not so simple anymore.
It makes you realize there are so many hidden stories waiting to be discovered, even in the most ordinary things.
And that's what we're all about here, right? Uncovering those hidden stories, making those connections. So for our listeners, I want to leave you with a thought. What other colors hold hidden stories? What colors have personal meaning for you? And how do those meanings connect to the bigger picture, to culture and history? It's something to ponder, to explore.
It's a great question to keep in mind as you go about your day.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Keep your eyes open, folks, and mark your calendars for January 28th, 2025. That's when Black and Blues officially drops. Definitely one to add to your reading list.
Can't wait to dive into it myself.
Me too. All right, folks, that's a wrap on this deep dive. Until next time.
Grab Black and Blues, How a Color Tells the Story of My People by Imani Perry. Now on sale for just $23.36. Don't miss this chance to build good habits and achieve remarkable results. Click pre-order now today.
Like and subscribe for more Bookhaven podcasts.